what have you made of the festive football so
Loved
far?
it.
It is a feast, isn't it?
The gift that keeps giving.
It is, matey. Liverpool top of the tree right now. I think they've been good. I thought they were excellent against Spurs, but there's no sign of them slowing down at the moment. It feels as though they're going to win this title at a bit of a canter. I don't think they have to even really put in. I think there's another gear to come from Liverpool, and I'm not sure they're going to need it. That's how it feels right now.
But you know, if you do win the league at a canter, let's say that, I don't necessarily agree with you, but let's say that that's true. They're winning it at a canter. That's even more impressive, isn't it? That they can win the league, they can be the best team in the country, they can clearly have been, in my opinion, title winners before the year is out, and they've been able to do that in third or fourth gear.
But I think that probably tells you a little bit more about the other teams.
That's true.
There's one
slightly. You're a bit like Albert Finney in that Scrooge film here, aren't you?
What do you mean?
Well, you're being a bit tight on it. Whereas I'm saying, God, hasn't it been brilliant? 'Tis the season to be jolly. Liverpool have been unreal.
I don't think Liverpool have been unreal.
You're saying that it's because the others have been poor.
I think Liverpool have been good, really good, but I don't think they've had to be brilliant to be where they are. The performances I've seen from Liverpool, they're efficient. They're so much different compared to the side they were under Klopp. Arne Slot's come in. It's like, I don't really need to change a great deal. I don't need this rock and roll football. I don't need that. I've got enough firepower up top. I've got enough in midfield. What he's done with Gravenberch deserves huge praise. But it's not like you're looking at them going, oh, my word. They are at... I don't see that. I see a very, very good side. Don't concede many, but I've got goals aplenty up top.
I'm not sure. I see them as a bit better than that.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
I think throughout the team, they're brilliant, right? So they've got a very miserly defence. It's changed a little bit because of the Canter injury. That's not a slight on Joe Gomez, by the way. I just think that he's not as good as Canter. But they've basically been very stingy at the back, which is a sign of an excellent team.
Their midfield's changed. That's the thing.
It's been good.
That's why. That's a good thing. Yeah. But their midfield has changed defensively. They're more a defensive unit, and that's a good thing. I don't think they're not as good as the Liverpool side that won the title. They're not as good as the City sides that have won the title. They're not as good as the Chelsea sides that won the title. They are, even the Man United side, they're not that good, but they're efficient and they're taking advantage of the fact that everyone else is a little bit...
And they're undoubtedly the best team in the country as well. There's
no complaints.
They're undoubtedly the best team in the country. And do you know the other thing that they've got as well, which I think sets them apart? They've got those, their icons, like the lights. So throughout the team, you kind of go the keeper, Van Dijk, Salah, would be the ones that I would highlight. Maybe an honourable mention here to Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. They're just class, aren't they? They're of course they're going to win the league. Van Dijk's not going to allow them not to win the league, and Mohamed Salah's not going to allow them not to win the league. When you've got those two players at either end of the pitch, you've got Mohamed Salah, who's in the form of his life. I think that's fair to say. Is he better now than he was?
His numbers are just... It's almost like someone sat down and just made the numbers up. It's like someone's gone, what was he going to get? I'll give him 19 goals.
But he's better than just the ruthless pursuit of numbers, isn't he? He's better than that because he seems to be very selfless these days. He seems to be a creator these days. Look at the assists. Yeah, he gets himself into brilliant areas. But I've got to say, there's definitely other sides I've felt that I've seen better. But here's the worrying stat that I feel we're going to see. I think that Liverpool will get better. I don't think we've seen the best of this team yet. That is a threat to the rest of the Premier League. If you genuinely believe that they haven't really got into fifth gear yet.
I don't think we've seen the best of this Liverpool side.
So what do you think they win this year? Do you think they win the league?
Oh, double points.
Do you think they win? Do you think how many trophies? Should we play a ridiculous game? How many trophies did Liverpool win this season?
Well,
they're in the quarter-final. They're in the semi-final. Forgive me, of the League Cup.
Yeah, cups. They're always a difficult one to predict because it just takes one bad refereeing decision, a sending off, or something silly that changes the game. For me, the measure of a team is always the league. Right in the Premier League, that is the stiffest test. I think Liverpool win the title. Arsenal are in it. But the Bukayo Saka injury and that news that came out the last 24 hours, that's probably sealed their fate.
I mean, with Arsenal, it's just... Realistically now, their dazzling star, right? In my opinion, their world-class talent is Bukayo Saka. Take him out of that team.
Odegaard?
Odegaard too. Yes, absolutely. Like, look, Odegaard was missing. They were struggling. Odegaard comes back. They're unbeaten in 11, but now they're without Saka. And you can kind of see the same thing happening because who are they going to be relying on now? Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli. Look, they could buy someone. They could buy. That's
the question. Gooners, going into the market in January, now the fact, Rory made a great point in the meeting, you'd rather have this injury, if it's going to happen, before the window opens, as opposed to as the window closes. So you are now fully much aware The Bukayo Saka is out for the foreseeable, probably 3 months. Maybe let's talk March, April, something like that. With this, the title will be, you need someone in to affect that change. 03717 223344. Liverpool fans, how many digits have you got in the trophy? I think you got one hand. Rory's gone one hand of 4 digits. I think that's over.
Do you know what I would love to hear, Jace? If anybody believes that Liverpool won't win the league, if anybody genuinely sees that the eventual winner isn't Liverpool, I would love to hear the rationale for that. If somebody could call in and just tell me exactly why Liverpool won't win the league. Is it because they're going to be fighting a war on too many fronts? Do they expect a dip to come? Do they think that Arne Slot is going to run out of ideas? Like, I just can't, even if I'm trying to be really creative, I just can't see a world where anybody could finish above Liverpool this season.
Let's go and speak to Joel, wish him Merry Christmas and Merry New Year. Joel, hello, sir.
Happy Christmas, New Year.
What do you say to people at the moment, Joel? What do you say? You stuck in that kind of weird zone? You don't know whether it's one thing or another?
About what?
About we say Merry Christmas and Merry New Year.
Oh, no. It's always Happy Christmas. You got to remember that. It's
when do you change?
I don't really care. I don't know. Whatever makes you happy. Don't get hung up on it.
No, fair enough. Well,
don't get hung up on it, Jace.
No, okay, all right, fair enough. You've taught me a lesson, Joel.
It's true. There's worse things in life. As long as you're happy and you remember why you're celebrating.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Go on then, Joel. What do you want to say? You're a big Liverpool fan.
Yeah, and I've supported him over 40 years without giving away my age to my colleagues. But,
how old are you? How old are you?
Anyway,
just tell us, Joel. No one cares.
I care.
Oh, that's true.
No one cares.
Okay,
how old are you?
let's just say I'm 50. All right.
Are you 50?
So I've seen it from.
He's not 50. There's no way he's 50.
He's 65, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely
right.
over 50.
Yeah, he's definitely over 50.
Well, yeah, so we've been good, we've been bad. The way I see it, Arne Slot, I've got to say, I was biting my fingernails and he's done a lot better. But the team are very sloppy. You mentioned the Spurs game. I was actually annoyed that we conceded 2 extra goals. I was looking for a 6-1 and better. For it to be 6-3 doesn't reflect on the game. And they've been very sloppy and we've got away with it. There are periods in the games we've played where you've looked at it and thought, thank God
you can't win 6-3. You can't win 6-3 away from home in a Premier League clash against a club as big as Tottenham and think that it's been a sloppy performance, can you?
Yeah, I can, because you're a Chelsea fan and you know that's 3-point lane all day long. If you look at last year, what was it? They took 2 send-ins off, a dodgy refereeing decision, and Liverpool still scored an own goal for them to win the game. That was the most annoying game of football I've seen in a long time. So I wanted vengeance for that, and...
You got it.
They are very sloppy, and I'm hoping you're right that there's more to come, and it can only get better.
There's no pleasing some people, Jace.
But I know what he means, though, Raw.
Do you really?
I do. I just
can't empathise with this at all. It makes no sense to me. Liverpool are top of the league. They're doing it at Canter. They're scoring goals for fun. They've got a fairly sturdy backline. They've got a brand new manager who's instilling this wisdom into the team.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
We're talking about them winning everything.
I'm going to exaggerate a point to prove a point.
Come on,
right?
Serious.
Would you rather win a game 2017 or 3-0?
For the sake of this, I would rather win it 2017.
So what I mean is, you scored 20 goals, conceded 17. So I've moved the goalpost to suit my argument. Yes. What you're saying there. So Joel, you're still there, right? That was a bit cruel. Would you rather win it 6-3 or 3-0? That's the question I'm asking, I suppose.
3-0. The goal difference matters. I know it's
the same goal difference,
but it's technically the same thing. But the defence are becoming complacent. They need to it's discipline, isn't it?
Something to be said in that.
Look at the last 2 games, the goals they scored, the second and third goal. Liverpool were sloppy. What are they doing? They just took their foot off the gas and just let them back in.
Joel, generally speaking, are you a glass half full kind of guy?
Well, you have to be. If you've seen your team gain 99 points and not win the league, of course you do. You just have to be quietly optimistic. You can't be Mo, the Liverpool fan that phones you up on the sports bar all the time. Yeah. He's mad.
I just can't,
Joel. That's not how most of us think.
I'm just not feeling this, Joel. I just can't believe it. It's the season of goodwill. It's a season to be happy. Yeah. And your team are top of the league, and you're having you're having a moan up in a game where you scored 6 goals away from home. That's your case study for it not going well. Scoring 6 goals away from home in the Premier League and winning the game. How many different goal scorers that day? 4?
Yeah, but that's not the point. They shouldn't have scored goals 2 and 3. That's all I'm saying. I'm not moaning.
You might have switched off a touch, but then you put it back on. You turned it back on and scored another couple.
How many?
Okay, a better team would have done a lot more damage. That's what I'm saying.
Joe, how many? So I'm saying you've got one hand on the trophy. Rory's saying you've got one hand and 4 digits. How are you seeing it?
Nothing's ever won in December.
No, how many? But you've got. There's at least something on the trophy, right?
We're looking at it with.
How many fingers then? How many digits?
We're touching it with a couple of digits.
Just 2 digits. 2 digits on the trophy.
Joel, you've got it in the bag. It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Liverpool are flying.
Jeff,
okay.
Joe.
Look at it this way. Are the bookies paying out?
Go on. No, but they're not. I know, but that's why there's still digits on that haven't been put on the top. Joel, Merry Christmas. Yeah. Merry New Year.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Joel.
Cheers, bud. There is Joel, Liverpool fan.
Merry New Year!
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.